right? When you know if you handle your emotions, you will be successful, right? How many of you guys know that that's something you need to work on today before I get started? Because I'll be honest with you guys, this training will touch a few nerves, okay? It will touch a few nerves. You might think that I'm aiming it at you. I probably am. But guys, this is an important training, okay? We have to grow through every day. And if we can handle this training and not hate me, then I'm grateful, okay? So just so I'm aware, how many of you guys need to handle your emotions better? Put me in the chat just so I know my audience. So we've got quite a few already. Any more? How many of you guys know, how many of you guys already handle your emotions quite well? I think we're all expecting ads, right? We're going to say, yeah, him. How many of you guys think you can handle your emotions pretty well? Yeah? Okay, cool. So let's go into this training, guys. I'm grateful for you jumping on. Please be aware, I'm not talking directly at you. And if you feel like I am, then yeah, you may need to do some work, right? You may need to do some work. So we're going to get onto this training straight away. It's called Managing Emotions or Handling Emotions, whichever one you want to do. So get your notebook and pen ready. Sarah, ever since I know she doesn't do it once, I'm going to pull her out on every single call. Z, not your phone, because you never check your phone. Use a notebook and pen. I don't care if you don't have a pen, find a pen, right? There we go. He's getting up to find a pen. Like, I know my team so well, right? I know my team so well. So guys, make sure you have a pen and paper. Okay, cool. Nice to see all of you guys on here, actually. It's good to see you. Vanoshka, it's good to see all of you girls on here. Good. Okay, let's go. Okay, what makes a person successful in their roles, right? What makes a person successful in their roles? And this is anything to do with whatever you're doing in the moment, guys. We all have different roles. We could be students, daughters, sons, I don't know, fathers, mothers, managers, CEOs, all those roles, right? We have so many roles. There's two things: environmental forces, which is outside impact, and personal competencies, which is your responsibility, which is internal. Ads actually told me this morning, so I feel like, you know, duplication is key in this business. He said, do you know the 90-10 principle? 10% of life is made up of what happens to you, and 90% is decided by how you react. Yes, I got a good old lecture this morning, guys. If you can imagine, 90-10%, like the principle, guys. So write that down. Make sure you learn it. I'm duplicating what I've learned this morning. 10% of life is made up of what happens to you, and 90% is decided by how you react. That's not me, that's Ad. So if you want to shout anyone out, that's him for today, right? We cannot control. Okay, so I'll give you an example. We cannot control a red light, red traffic light, right? So whilst we're driving, we're in a rush, right? We're in such a rush. We want to go somewhere because we're running late, okay? We're running late, could be for work, it could be for whatever. Running late. The red light hits, right? We cannot control the red light whilst we're driving. It's not like we could just miss the red light. I mean, if you do, then you're selfish because you're risking other people's lives, right? You can do that if you wanted. But you can control how you react to the red light. So some people are like in anger, some people are just sad, like whatever the emotion they're feeling, right? That's how you can control. So this training is about how do we handle that in that situation. Now, I want to give another example. How many of you, do any of you guys have kids? I don't think anyone has kids right now. Anyone have kids? No? Okay, how many of you want to have kids? Put in the chat, how many of you guys want to have kids? Put 111 in the chat if you want to have kids. Yeah? How many of you guys want to have kids? Okay? I definitely want to have kids. So if you guys want to have kids, this is an example, right? If you don't want to have kids, okay, like, Adolphus has kids. Okay, amazing. So we got some people on this call that want to have kids and some people that have, okay? So I'm going to give you an example of what we're going to kickstart this training with. Now imagine you are sitting at the breakfast table in the kitchen or whatever you're doing, and you have kids, right? You have your kids in front of you, and you've tidied up your entire kitchen, right? Everything's organized. The breakfast looks amazing. I don't know, it's just an amazing breakfast. I want you guys to picture that right now, okay? So you're going into the kitchen, everything's perfect. Now you have a 3-year-old daughter, okay? You have a 3-year-old daughter who spilt all the breakfast everywhere. She spilt it. Okay, so this breakfast, I don't know whether she knocked down an orange juice or she did something, and it's just ruined the breakfast vibe. Okay, because now there's a big mess. Kitchens are crazy. Like it's just gone. Everything's gone up in the air. Okay. Now, how many of you guys, when you hear that, you can already feel yourself feeling anxiety, like you're already feeling angry that you just spent time doing this amazing breakfast and now it's ruined? Okay, how many of you put 111 if you feel like that right now? Well, you're picturing it and you can just see yourself being like, why did you do that? So you yelled at your 3-year-old daughter, right? Now you don't actually have to be honest, because this is a real life situation that can happen. Okay, so you can have like that, you can have that instant where you're like screaming at your daughter, right? You can have that. Okay, you can expect that to happen, right? So you scream in anger and now you're shouting and you're like, why did you do that? I just spent all this time doing this and now it's ruined. Okay, now imagine, right, you've gone to work in this anger, right? You're angry because this breakfast is ruined. You spent your morning now cleaning it up. Now you're in a rush. You are rushing to work. You're late already because you hit a stoplight, and then there's all these things that are happening, right? So you get to work and now you're at work, and because you're so angry still, you shout at your boss, or you shout at your employees, or you shout at someone that works with you, just in that moment, not like you in an aggressive way, but something didn't go your way. And now you're actually portraying the anger that's going through your day, right? This is a normal situation. This will definitely happen to you, and it probably has. Okay, so now you are now not in a great workspace because you've just snapped at someone for something that they don't understand what they did wrong. So you had a bad day at work. Now you come back, because obviously you had a bad day at work. Now you have a journey home. Now someone was driving, like they were driving in a weird way and they just pulled out, and then you scream at them because they just pulled out on you, right? You just screamed at them because they just pulled out on you. So now you're even more angry, okay? And you get home and you see your partner there, right? You see your partner there, and I don't know, they left something lying on the floor, or they didn't say something that you wanted them to say, whatever the situation is, right? They did something that was so small, but because you got so much pent up anger, you now shout at them. Okay, can you guys see where one reaction to one thing can just create a domino effect? Can you guys see that? Put 111 in the chat if you can just see how one thing in the morning is now portrayed in the next, then the next, then the next, and then now you've ended up home arguing with your partner, right? Now that's a really bad day. That's a really bad day. Okay, you've gone through step by step, taking this anger with you, and wherever you go, you created this destruction. Okay, so not only did you have a bad day, but now anyone who's come in contact with you has had a bad day too, right? Anyone who's come in contact with you has had a bad day. Now that's scenario number one. Let me tell you scenario number two. So you had this amazing breakfast all laid out, right? This amazing breakfast in front of you. Your daughter spilt the drink or whatever she did. She ruined that breakfast in some way. Now, instead of shouting at her and saying, why did you do that? You actually instead, you say, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just be more careful next time. I'll clear it up. Yeah. Now you've done that. So you're already, and your daughter's so grateful that you didn't scream at her, for one. She's like, thank you, I won't, okay? And then she gives you a hug and a kiss, and you go on your way to work in a much calmer environment, because you're not screaming, you're not in a bad mood. Your daughter just showed you love, right? So you're actually feeling quite happy about that. The red light hits and you're thinking, oh, I might be a little bit late, but oh well, like if I'm late, I'm late. Like I can't control that I may be a few minutes late. So you get into work, you're already in a much relaxed feel, and then your colleagues are around and they mention that you're late, and you say, oh, or you joke about it. You're like, my bad, I'll get breakfast tomorrow, right? You joke about it and the day goes fine. You are laughing and joking with your colleagues, your boss, or whatever the situation. Then you come home, and because you've had such a good uplifting day, you're now going to have an amazing evening with your partner, right? Because your day started good, it was good in the middle, it was good at the end, right? Now that's the scenario number two. right? Which one do you prefer, guys? Which one do you think you would do? And which one do you think you'd prefer? There's a difference. And you got to be honest with yourself, guys. Okay? Everyone prefers number two, right? Everyone, that day sounds sick. You started your day with your daughter like grateful for you, showing you love. Then, you know, you went into work and you were having jokes. Yeah? But like Z said, but my days are usually number one. That is why we're doing this training, guys. Not because we want to build or whatever, like we want to trade. Like, guys, I can talk about trading all day, every day. You know, we all trade, right? But the thing about handling emotions is not just how you handle it in the charts. Okay, a lot of people think they need to be patient in the charts. They need to wait for the trade to hit. They need to be, you know, they have to be in that zone when they're trading. But guys, did you not just hear my example of how everything else can affect, right? Doesn't matter if you're patient at the charts, if you handle your emotions at everything in the smallest details, it has a domino effect. Okay, so there are two examples of the same day, but the only difference is how did you react to the first thing. Okay, because how you react to the first thing will affect everything else. And that's why we're going through this today. And like, we're all guilty of it. Okay, maybe not Az, because he's freaking perfect, but we are all guilty of it. Okay, we are all guilty of how one thing can happen and it sets us off for the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then before we know it, we've had a bad day. Now, one bad day can lead to a bad week if we keep carrying this on. One bad week can lead to a bad month if we keep carrying this on. Can you guys see how it can keep happening? And that's because of one bad start. So what we want to try and do is understand how do we go through this kind of handling emotions, and how can we improve where we don't have to be perfect, guys. No one's saying be perfect. It's just more awareness. So first thing we need to do is write this down, is taking full responsibility. Okay, taking full responsibility isn't just about, you know, of if, you know, things go well or things go wrong. It's about taking full responsibility in how we react. Okay, taking full responsibility in how we react. So many people think, okay, if it's not my fault in what happened, that's not my responsibility. No one's saying if it went wrong it's your responsibility, but it is your full responsibility in how you react to that situation. Some of us can have stuff that's done to us and that's really bad, right? All of us have been in a bad situation. Someone's abused our trust, someone's let us down, someone's really hurt us. We've all been there, right? No one's saying take responsibility for them, but we do say take responsibility in how you react, okay, in that situation. And like I said, we all have our flaws. If you're very emotional like me, you're definitely going to be on the other end as well. Like, that's just how it is, okay? So we got to build on that. So by taking full responsibility, it means how you blame others in how you feel. So for instance, I'll go back to the daughter situation, right? Now, if you were at work and you were and someone said to you, why are you in such a bad mood? And you can say, well, my daughter, she dropped this and it set me off, and then I was late, and then like everything was crazy, and then she started crying, and then I had to deal with her. Like, that's why I'm in a bad mood, right? But in actual fact, I showed you two scenarios, right? It's not about what she did, it's about how you reacted. So it's kind of like what people say in charts. I see it a lot with the signals, actually, and this is why signals is just one of those things that we do it for demo purposes only, really. And it's like how educators can't get it right all the time, right? We don't expect them to. And if you expect your educator to get it right all the time, then you should not be in this platform. But if it hits stop loss and you're like, oh, I hit stop loss today because of this, right? This app, or because of this signal that was given to me, and now I'm in a bad mood, right? Well, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't matter if it hits stop loss, right? It does matter if you are in a bad mood and you stop working for the rest of the day, right? You stop growing for the rest of the day. You go into your shell for the rest of the day. That's on you, right? That's not on what happened to you. That's on you. So blaming others and how you feel is a common leadership failure. Okay, that's in anything. Like I said, if you want to be promoted, if you want to go to chairman, whatever you want to do, if you want to be, if you want to have the biggest company in the world with whatever you're growing, Guys, blaming others for how you feel is the most common leadership failure. Okay, this is why sometimes we don't relate to some leaders, because we don't really kind of want to be mentored by them, because there's always something else they're blaming. So you have to understand, you need to understand that responsibility begins with you. Now, not only does it begin with you, but it actually diminishes the power others have over you. So write that down. It diminishes the power of others that they have over you, okay? So when you take full responsibility with how you feel, you're less likely to be held over power by someone else, okay, or something else, right? So if you find yourself where trades or something like that aren't going your way and you're reacting badly, when you take the responsibility back onto you, that doesn't really have that much power over you anymore, because it's your reaction to how it is. You also inspire others to do the same. So once you start taking responsibility for how you feel, it inspires people around you to take responsibility in how they feel. Okay, it could be your team, it could be your manager, it could be your staff, it could be your partner, it could be anyone, because it inspires them to do the same. So it really does start with you. So if you want to have a positive environment, it really starts with you, okay? Gives you accountability and it allows you to duplicate yourself. So that's really important. Now you're probably wondering how, right? How am I going to start taking responsibility in kind of my reactions? First, you've got to talk openly about how you feel. I am the worst at that, right? I'm definitely, guys, don't follow me in that. Like, I will happily say I'm the worst at that one. I mean, I sometimes eventually tell you how I feel, like after like 5 hours of ranting. I know Z gets it all the time, right? So is talk openly about how you feel is one thing, right? Then not only do you need to openly talk about how you feel, another thing you need to do is persuade others to do the same. Okay, so that's another way to do it. Okay, so if you want to start taking responsibility, you talk about openly how you feel, but then you persuade others to do the same and opening up how they feel. That's crucial. Okay, there's no point you being so open and only you being open. You need to be in relationships with so many people that you need to persuade them to be open about how they feel. Right? Your mom, your dad, your kids, whatever the situation is, you've got to persuade others to do the same. Now, another thing that we need to do in any situation that doesn't go our way is reframe those, that you got to redefine how you feel, and you got to make it as opportunities. So write that down. Anything that goes wrong is an opportunity for something to go better in the future. Right? Anything that goes wrong is an opportunity for that to go better in the future. Like I always say, celebrate your stop losses, and I genuinely do celebrate them. Okay, I genuinely think, oh my gosh, this is great, because now I've got some more intel, I've got some more research, and now I know exactly what I'm doing, and it perfects the skill for the future. However, some people, when they hit stop loss, they're in the worst mood. You could tell when they hit stop loss, right? They suddenly try and change up their whole personality, and then they think they can do it on their own, and all these things that happen. Well, that's the wrong way of handling it. You should always take it as an opportunity. Now, another thing that you want to do is admit the feelings you have or you feel. So say you're arguing with someone, and then you've got to admit the feelings that they might feel. Okay, that's also important, right? It's all good being self-aware, but the whole point of this is that you have to understand how they feel as well. So back to the breakfast situation with your daughter, I hope you all have daughters, by the way. Well, in the breakfast situation with your daughter, yeah, you got to imagine if you shouted at them, how would they feel? Did they knock that drink on purpose? Even if they did, they're like 3 years old, right? You gotta imagine how they would feel, and how they are. Okay, so that's another thing you need to do. You got to go on the flip side, right? Whoever's annoyed you, you got to admit how they feel. Are they doing it maliciously? Probably not, right? Probably not. Let's be real, they're probably not. But even if they don't know what they're doing, you still got to admit, like, not everyone's perfect, so it doesn't matter what they're doing. Okay, another thing you should do is journal. Now, the key thing to understanding how to handle emotions is having a positive mindset. Now, I want to stress on this slide. This is why, like, it's only 4 bullet points, right? it's not just about positive thinking. A lot of people think a positive mindset is positive thinking, right? That's 1/4 of it, right? 1/4 of it. It's not just, oh, I think positive, yeah, I'll be fine. You know, it's not about that. It's actually, I'm positively thinking, I'm positively feeling, I'm positively willing, and I'm positively doing. There's 4 aspects to a positive mindset. It's not just thinking, guys. Okay, a lot of people think that if they think positive, that's it. That's just one bit of it, right? That's the start of it. You've got to feel it. You've got to be willing to be positive, and you've got to do positive things. Okay, that's the positive mindset. Now, a lot of people, when they lack kind of that mindset, is because they think positive mindset, like they think of just thinking that thinking mode is enough. But then when it comes down to those situations, the red light, the spilled breakfast and all of that, that's when their personality comes out, and it's because they're not feeling, willing, and doing. Okay, that's the reason. So you might think you're really positive, but actually you don't feel positive, you're not willing to be positive, you're not doing positive things, right? That says to me that you're not in that positive mindset. You've just started the process. Now, you're never going to be 100% in anything, right? But one thing you can do is be 1% more every day, and then you'll build up to it, okay? Don't think you have to be an amazing positive person like right now, right today. That's not the situation, guys. The situation is that you have to kind of go through the motions. Now, multi-intelligence is needed, okay? Multi-intelligence is needed for handling emotions. Now, when you write this down, emotional intelligence, moral intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Okay, those are the 3 levels. I'm only really going to go on emotional intelligence today, but I will go over the other 2 probably next week. But today I'm mainly focusing, because they're such big topics, guys. Like the training would have gone on all day, which I probably think you won't mind because you love trainings, guys. But we all have work to do, okay? So the 3 things, okay? The 3 things: emotional intelligence, moral intelligence, and spiritual intelligence. Okay, today I'm really going to go over emotional intelligence. That is really key for handling emotions anyway. Now, if you want to know what emotions is, emotion is a movement in our state of mind that forms in many forms, which can be expressed or suppressed, right? It's a movement in our state of mind. How many of you guys can switch your mood up really quickly? Put 111 in the chat if you can switch your mood real quick. Where are the guys that can go from 1 to 100 real quick? Where are those guys? 1 to 100 real quick. Ads, that's a lie. You can't switch your moods up real quick. That's such a lie. You're just, guys, some of you guys are lying. Sarah, you only go once. You go 1 to 100 if you hit stop loss. That's where you go 1 to 100. Who else can? Okay, cool. Okay, fine. So yeah, if you can switch up your moods real quick, guys, so can I. No one's saying that I definitely can. One thing can set me off, but that's not good. So we need to work on that, okay? This is why we're doing these trainings. The trainings helps me just as much as it helps you. So it's a movement of the state of mind that forms in many forms, okay? It can be expressed or suppressed. Now, I want to go over quickly the emotional intelligence model. I know a lot of you already know about EI, but I just want to go over it. So the lowest form, so write this down, the lowest form of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. That's the lowest form, okay? Not the highest, the lowest. Okay, self-awareness is the lowest. Self-management, then it goes self-management. Then it goes self-motivation. Then the highest form of emotional intelligence is social awareness and relationship management. So that's the lowest to highest, okay? So just being self-aware is the lowest form of emotional intelligence. Being able to manage other people's emotions is the highest, okay? So you go pretty much from like, I wouldn't even say Trump, but like Trump all the way to Mother Teresa. That's pretty much the examples. I wouldn't say Trump, but like, I feel like he's very self-aware of himself. So yeah, so you go from Trump to Mother Teresa. Which one are you, right? I really hope none of you say Trump, But yeah, it literally is Trump to Mother Teresa. Okay, that's the kind of scale we're on. Trump to the Mother Teresa. So you got to be self-aware. Is just knowing how you feel, what you want. Like, it's very much internal, kind of all based around you. You don't have any regards for how others are around you. And that pretty much is the whole shouting at your daughter kind of situation, right? Because you're feeling how you feel, but you're not accepting how everyone else feels. The managing other emotions is like you saying to your daughter, it's okay, just try and work on it next time, right? Because you're thinking about how she would feel, how she is, and that's the kind of highest form. I'm on training. 1 second. Oh, 1 second, guys. 1 second. Is this Sorry guys, my mum decided to buy a bed for me today. I have no idea, like she's got issues. Like, guys, she needs to go back to work. She just happily bought a bed. Okay, cool. Next one. Okay, so let's go back to this one. This is the slide. Right, this is the slide, and we can keep going. Right, so do play from that. Okay, cool. So that's the kind of model that we have got. Now, how many of you guys are, which level do you think you are? From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 to 5, which one do you think you are? 1 to 5. Which one do you think you are from 1 to 5? Put that in the chat for me. 1 to 5. Oh, look at Sarah. She's always hyping up. 3. Okay, cool. Self-motivation, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with being 1, guys. Like, we all improve, right? Nothing wrong with being 1. Social aware. Okay, cool. 1, perfect. That's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with being honest with yourself. Like, this is what trainings are for, okay? We're not here to be perfect. We're here to, like, grow each day. So if we think, okay, right now I'm self-aware, that's something, right? That's fine. But if we each day we're improving this, where in a year's time we were really like we're really on top of things, and we're helping other people and manage their things, then that shows growth. Okay, that shows growth. Now, high EQ, write this down. High EQ. The positives of having a high EQ is you have motivation, you have satisfaction, you have desire, you have self-esteem, you have friendship, you have peace, you have optimism, and you're laughing. Because everything in life is not that serious when you're at that level. It's that serious. Nothing can like jeopardize everything to you, okay? It's pretty much back to the breakfast example, guys, is how you saw one situation, how you saw the second situation. Second situation had all of these things, right? First situation had none of these things. Low EQ. This is in any situation you feel. So this is how you feel with low EQ. Anger, resentment, loneliness, sometimes depression, fear, guilt, and hurt. So the high EQ and the low EQ is pretty much, you have to go back to my breakfast example, is exactly what both the situations were, okay? Those are the situations that you can see, and both were affected by how you feel, not about the actual things that happen to you. So high EQ. So I love this saying. This is amazing. IQ gets you hired. EQ gets you promoted. Okay? IQ gets you hired. EQ gets you promoted. Okay? And that's how life works. And that's why you're on this training, guys, because this isn't just going to help you in your business in IM. It's actually going to help you in life. It's going to help you in trading, but it's going to help you with all your other projects that you're doing in life. Okay? So high EQ should really be the plus point, to be honest, in everyone's agenda each day. How can I improve my emotional intelligence? Not so much your, all the other intelligence. It's actually emotional intelligence. So you get more success And it actually has proven that you have more happiness in the older generation when you have a higher EQ. You actually have more happiness in the long term. Okay. So the actions that can help your EQ is leadership calls, team spirit, promoting cooperation, and a positive work culture. These are the things that can help you. This is the thing that you'll be producing. Another thing, guys, is when you have a high EQ, you're going to be doing these things. When you have a high EQ, you're going to be taking on those leadership calls to help other people. You're going to increase the team spirit. You're going to promote cooperation. And you're going to have a positive work culture. That's from you, okay? So if you want to be at that highest level, you need to do these things. And this did not come from IM, right? This is just life, okay? This is what's given from life. Now, how do we manage emotion? How do we manage it, right? We already know what's the outcome. We know what it is. We know what the outcomes can be. How do we start managing the emotion? And this is the slides that we should really focus on, okay? So we need to know and assess our own emotional states. Know and assess our own emotional states. So before you can manage that emotion, you need to know that you're in one, right? You need to know that you're in an emotional state. And sometimes it's really hard to accept it. So even though you can be like, oh, I want to be number 2 in that breakfast situation, what actually happens is you're number 1 majority of the time, right? So you actually forget the times you're in number 1. So the first step to managing that emotion is knowing when you are in number 1. You have to accept those feelings that you're feeling, of course, but you have a different outlook to it. You got to spread positivity, positivity. You got to spread your strengths. You got to defer judgment, right? You got to defer judgment. Sometimes we're in such a state is because we're in that judgment mode. We're judging either the person that's hurt us or the situation, or we're just judging that situation way too much. We've got to defer that. That red light hits. Doesn't matter, right? Who cares? It's not life or death, okay? It is death, though, if you run the red light. It is death if you run the red light, though. So you got to imagine, right? You got to imagine what motion you're in. You got to detach from the problem itself. So if there's a problem that's going on right now, and you're living in a problem right now, and you just don't know how to handle it, sometimes it's better to detach yourself from that problem. Have little care for that problem. It's easier said than done. I get it, right? It's easier said than done. But sometimes the best thing you can go through is just detaching yourself from the problem. Managing non-verbal communication. That's your expressions. That's like everything that you do, right? It's your actions. It's not what you say. It's about what you're doing, okay? So if you're saying, yeah, I'm fine, I'm happy, and then you go and sulk in a corner somewhere, you got to imagine it's not matching, okay? So you got to manage your non-verbal communication. So the best example I can tell you in this situation, guys, is smile, right? If you're thinking, okay, I want to manage my emotion, but it can't be verbal because verbal could be different to how I'm feeling. It's just smiling. Yeah, that's the non-verbal communication. You're smiling at strangers, right? You're having the worst possible day ever, but then someone's looking at you and you smile at them rather than shout at them. Yeah, that's managing your non-verbal communication. You've got to also have initiative in this. Okay. Now, initiative is when you're feeling like the worst place possible, but you know what? You're going to just go and inspire groups of people. It really helps. It really helps. So if you inspire groups of people, that's got that initiative as well. So imagine you're not having the best trading day. Yeah. Doesn't mean you go and sulk and cry. Why don't you go and help someone open up TradingView? Genuinely. Why don't you go and help a group of people that that know less than you? Yeah. That sometimes can help more than you sulking and being angry all day. Sometimes you can go and get a group of people together, and it's so easy. Our group is so welcoming. Like you can message a stranger and be like, hey, do you want to jump on Zoom? And they're like, yeah, okay. Like it's so welcoming. I've never known it, okay? You can genuinely just set up a Zoom with anyone and say, hey, like you've just started a couple of days ago. I started like only a month ago, but I can help you now if you want. Do you want to jump on Zoom? And they're so grateful for you that suddenly you take yourself out of your problem and now you're inspiring groups of people and you're like, wow, like this is amazing. Life is so good. Yeah, life is so good. Like yesterday, guys, that training, that 7 p.m. training was so amazing. But did you know both people didn't know they were going to do it? Both of them. Phoebe got told like probably like 2 hours before. No, maybe like one, right? She got told like 1 hour before, and Ads literally found out like half an hour before, right? Neither knew they were going to do it, but they both did it, right? And how good did you guys feel after that training? That wasn't planned. Like no one planned that. No one said like, hey, can I book you in? Like, no, everyone was literally like, you do this, you do that. And the training was so amazing. Okay, because they both were inspiring groups of people. That's what they're doing. We don't know how their day was. Their day might have been shit. They might have been shouted at. They might have, well, Phoebe probably was, but they might have been like, they might have had like, you know, really hard, difficult customers, like whatever the situation is, you wouldn't know about it. That's the most amazing thing about managing your emotions. Another thing that you all need to manage emotions is a shared vision goal. Okay? A shared vision goal. That's super important as well. Shared vision goal. And then you lead by example. So shared vision goal and you lead by example. We already know what that means. Okay, now I'm going to go through the next 3 slides about just the kind of downsides of the anger, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, cool. Knowing your anger. Write down knowing your anger. This is super important, right? Everyone gets angry. We need to do this, okay? First, you need to know what your source and your triggers are. Some of your triggers might be, I don't know. Name some of your triggers, guys. Put in the chat some of your triggers. What gets you angry? What gets you angry? Put in the chat something that gets you angry. Like a source or a trigger. Ignorance, siblings. Siblings, you know. What gets you angry? Right? Know your trigger points. Attitude, yeah? Mine's arrogance, that gets me angry. Negative, okay, cool, yep. Negative people get you angry. Get on my face, yeah, that would get me angry. Lying, that would get me angry. Deceitful, that 100% is a trigger for me. Oh my gosh, like if you like, just if I felt deceived in any way, like that's the 1 to 1,000. Like that's literally 1 to 1,000. If I feel deceived in any kind of way, that's another trigger for me. And I've kind of realized that the more I know myself, the more I realize that you gotta know what your trigger is. So if mine is believed, then I need to know that's my trigger. So I need to handle, how do I handle that? Because people are deceitful, right? That's just life. Lack of communication. You'll want to talk, Sarah. You take ages to talk. Like, we need to work on that then. And being taken for granted. Yeah, I hate that. Lack of appreciation. That's also a trigger for me. And so once you know the trigger point, right? That's a key thing of knowing your anger. Once you accept that it happens, then you can control your emotions. You got to then know your frequency. Okay, so next you need to know your frequency. So what frequency are you on? A high frequency or in a low frequency? If you're in anger, you're on a low frequency. Then you got to know your intensity of your anger. How angry are you? Are you like 5? Like, so I've got a really weird system where I like say I'm minus something if I'm in a bad mood. So like I'll be like, I'm -10 today. Like, that's my intensity. I could be like -100, but I'm like -10 today. Okay. And then when I'm at 0, I'm like mellow again. And then if I'm like 10, that's my normal. Okay. So you got to know your intensity. You then got to know how long you're angry for. Okay. How long are you angry for? How long are you sulking for? Some people are like a day. Some people are a minute. Some people, I know someone who stayed angry for 3 weeks because I joked that Liverpool is shit. 3 weeks. I never spoke to that guy again, right? Never. But he literally was angry for 3 weeks because okay, I'll tell you a story. So I was watching the Man U versus Liverpool game, and if you know me well, you know I'm a real Man U fan. Like, don't chat to me about any other team. Like, I hate Liverpool. But anyway, the reason why I don't like Liverpool, and it's not I hate them, it just really bugs me about them, is that we were watching a game, And we had this £1 bet, right? £1. And I was like, United are going to win. And it was favoured that Liverpool would win. And obviously United won because we're the best. But when I won, I was like, I told you Liverpool are rubbish. Like, I said that. And I probably went on for about 5 to 10 minutes, right? This guy did not speak to me for 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks he was angry because I said that. That duration was 3 weeks long, right? Don't be that guy. Don't be a Liverpool fan, guys. Don't be a Liverpool fan, okay? Don't be a Liverpool fan. But that's another thing. Another thing that you should know in your anger, is your expression on your face. Expression on your face. Okay, do you look angry? Like, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I look angry. Yeah? You need to know your anger by your expression on your face. Strategies that help, right? Rate your anger. So first you rate your anger. That does help, actually, because sometimes you look at it and I'm like, should I really be this angry for something that small? Then you need to look at your stress level. How stressed are you right now? How stressed are you right now, right? So rate your anger, how stressed you are, then have a sense of humor about the situation. Sense of humor about the situation. Okay, then you need empathy. Now, empathy is a very, very, very important skill in leadership and in life. But once you can express empathy, you really are like the best person you can ever be, okay? So empathy is understanding how the other person feels. You feel it, right? You can feel how they feel. So when you're angry, you need to express empathy. So whatever you're angry about, whoever's around you, express how they feel. You need to remove the ghosts from the past, because a lot of times that you're angry is something because you've been angry in the past of something that person or that thing happened to, and now you're bringing it up. So stop bringing up the past for the same thing. Move on. Guidelines in anger. Make sure you direct your anger to the right person or thing, right? Make sure you direct your anger in the right channel. Don't direct, say someone annoyed you, don't direct it at another person. Yeah, a lot of people do that. It's dumb, right? If someone annoyed you, you would direct it in the right channel. Don't direct it on another thing. You regain control. You promote a change of behavior. And this is the main thing. You do cooperation rather than retaliation, which I think we all need points in, to be honest. Right? Cooperation rather than retaliation. So if someone's annoyed you, right, cooperate with them more than retaliate with them. Okay? That's in anger. Hurt. What do you do when you're hurt? You do physical exercise. You bring up past successes. Past successes. So if someone annoyed you and you're hurt, right? So you're not angry, you're hurt. Then you got to bring up the past success that you've had with them. Okay? Past successes are really, really important in this. Then you interview someone you admire. That's a good way to dealing with hurt. You have self-coaching. You use reminders and signals that keep you happy. So there's loads of apps now that give you motivation. Like The Secret is amazing as well. Right? So you do that. And then you distract yourself from your hurt, because so many people stay in hurt when really they should just move on. Okay? Move on. What do you do if you feel guilt? You first avoid perfection, because when you feel guilty about something, it's because you're trying to be perfect. I'm talking about when you're in a low space, right? A low vibration. It's because you feel that you have to be perfect straight away. Guys, you're feeling guilt, that's dumb, right? You don't have a high EQ at that level, right? So you got to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a low EQ place. So get out of guilt ASAP. Avoid perfection. Show good intentions, right? Good intentions help you. If you feel guilty about something, of like not achieving something or something not going your way, show the intention for it before you judge yourself, and you motivate for positive change. Now, I'm not going to end it like that. I'm just going to say how you feel, how you can express happiness and how you can feel happiness, and then we'll close it off, okay? So first you forgive. 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 I keep saying it until you forgive. Forgiving is the hardest thing in the world, guys. It's something that no one really wants to do because everyone has ego and pride. But if you guys remember my 7 sins training, you know that pride is the worst sin to have. So if you can't forgive, they might have pride. So forgive. Whatever the situation, even if it's a situation, forgive the situation, right? Let it go. Move on and be happy it happened, and then move on, move forward. You got to express kindness. You will succeed as well. So when someone says you can't do something, right? Someone says, no, you can't do that. You're like, you're stupid, right? You got to then succeed, right? You have to then push yourself harder, succeed. You got to be honest, got to express honesty. You got to give the world your best version of yourself, not your worst. You got to have integrity. You got to live in the moment as well. So if you are, something happened to you in that moment because you're thinking it will hinder you in the future, go back to that moment, okay? Just remember it hasn't happened yet. You got to have gratitude. You can't self-criticize with handling emotions, and you got to have a simplicity life. So you got to have a simple life, okay? You wake up, you do what you need to do, you go to bed. Nice and simple. There's no drama in that. That's the end of this training, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it? Put 111 if you gained lots of value in this training. Put 111 if you gained value. Guys, I did tell you it will hit hard a little bit. Hopefully you guys did gain value. Before you go, I want every single person to go in the chat right now, because we got Friday. We're in Friday vibes. Everyone's on a low on Friday because they can't really trade that much, and everyone gets a bit sad. They're like, oh, my week's over. I want it to be Monday again. It's so weird. We live our life. Go in the chat, guys. We got 15 of you on here, so 15 including me. Every single person, including ads, every single person, go into our Purple Team chat. Purple Team chat. Do we have a new person added? The hell? Sarah? Sarah, welcome. What the hell? What's wrong with you? Okay, cool. Guys, we're going to welcome, who's Velton?
Vinoshka added him.
Ah, nice. Okay, Vinoshka, congratulations. Go on, Sarah, welcome. We're going to welcome, oh, wow, it's going to be a powerful welcome, 15 people all at once. Okay, everyone, let's just welcome. I'm not going to wait for Sarah. It's too long now, it's awkward. Welcome to the family. Wait.
Welcome to the family.
Why are you duplicating me? What the hell was he? What is this? Okay, cool. Now, this is an amazing welcome, because what we're going to do straight after we welcome Velton is we're going to say what we're so happy and grateful for, what has been our win this week, and what are we going to work on this weekend from this training. So that's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to pump up this chat on what we won this week, in the whole week, guys. Not just this training. What did we win in this week? Because this week has been amazing. I hope you guys can agree that this week has been amazing in terms of wins, in terms of growth, in terms of mindset, right? It's just been an amazing week. We've had double the trainings. We've had double the help. Our team has grown so much. So what we want to do, guys, is express what we have had this week. What specific thing are we grateful for this week? What did we gain this week? And then also I want you guys to write down what this session is helping you do this weekend. Okay, this session is to help you this weekend. There'll be no training on tonight because I feel like everyone has been trained out, and I don't care what you say, I'm not doing it. There's not 7 p.m. today. No 7 p.m. today, right? We're going to make sure we work on our wins this week. We're going to reflect. We're going to even have maybe a free hour or two at 7 p.m., guys, okay? It's okay. Work in the day is fine. So that's what we're going to do, guys. Please, please, please make sure that you do follow what I said. Put in the wins. I want to see all your names up there, right? I can only see Phoebe, I can only see Ty, right? Where's everyone else? Because there's 14 of you guys right now. 14 of you guys right now. So I want you guys to put what you've won this week, what have you won this week, and also what you're going to work on this weekend. Please, please, please do not do that. I am going to write a note on people who follow instructions, okay? Who's coachable? Are you guys coachable or not? If you guys are coachable, amazing. If you guys aren't coachable, we're not going to get along, right? I'll tell you that right now. So that is the end of the training, guys. Make sure you have a good weekend. Obviously, there's no more trainings. I don't think there's any more trainings anyway. If we do have Sunday analysis, that might call on Sunday, that we do. So we have that as the next one. Have an amazing weekend, guys. Make sure you stick to the affirmations. Make sure you stick to the quotes. Make sure you stick to everything, guys. Do not relax now. Now is the time to work, right? So the training's done. Now productivity's done. Now we're going to work, do high income producing activities. Don't trade, but do anything else that. And then we are good to go. Thank you so much for jumping on this training, guys, and have an amazing day. Stay happy, stay hungry, and stay humble. Thank you. Bye.